Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, today an explosive, absolutely explosive initial press conference between Jamal Charlo and Jose Benavidez. And, of course, Jose Benavidez kicked it off by saying everything up under the sun, talking about mental health, talking about don't make no excuses, calling them PUSSY. And Jamal, yeah. Jamal's initial response was very calm and measured, but towards the end, I say the middle and the end, he definitely started to amp it up a bit, responding to Jose Benavidez, basically asking him, why are you so confident? Because every time you stepped up in terms of the level of competition, you've lost, which is true. Against the top names that he's faced, he's lost. But this is Jose Benavidez. He did it in the Terrence Crawford fight in terms of bringing that level of energy. I can't recall if he did it versus Danny Garcia. And now he's bringing it against Jamal Charlo. Now, Jamal said that he has some respect for both he and his brother, but also stated that he's going to beat both of them eventually or at some point. So all those things were interesting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the banter. I enjoyed the back and forth. There was only one comment that I didn't particularly care for, but I'm not going to even go there. And I think you guys can guess what comment was made as a part of that conversation that I didn't particularly care for. And I'm not going to even say which fighter it came from. I'll let you guys guess. But what was interesting to me, Jay, and literally I'm sitting up here and I'm doing some work and I'm listening to the press conference on my phone, and my ears immediately perked up when I heard this. It was, I start training camp tomorrow. Like, I'm like, that's Scooby-Doo. I looked down at my screen. I said, today is November 7th. That means if you're starting your training camp, you're only giving yourself 2 weeks to train.
Yeah, max.
I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, that can't be right. Like, I know we've seen Maul with Roy Jones, which personally I think is a mistake just because of the style that Roy Jones employed in the ring. I don't think it's applicable to anybody. I don't think you can teach what Roy Jones was doing. Therefore, Roy Jones would not make for a good coach, in my opinion. We saw little tidbits and clips here and there, but certainly nothing that appeared to be to the level of a training camp. So when I heard that, I said, man, Ma, that can't be right. Now, don't get me wrong. Personally, I picked Jamal Charlo to win this fight. We've seen Jose Benavidez in the ring with Terrence Crawford. We saw him in the ring with Danny Garcia. He did not look spectacular against Danny Garcia, and I don't think there's anyone that would pick Danny Garcia versus Jamal Charlo. So there's no reason to pick Jose Benavidez versus Jamal Charlo. But, dude, if you're not starting your training camp until tomorrow, I mean, any fighter can give you a challenge if you're not in shape. So what's your thoughts on that, bro?
I think Mark was clowning on that as far as like starting tomorrow, because I mean, you're not going to train up until the day before your fight. One thing I did find interesting, the fact that they're fighting at 163 and not 160. Jose said it was because Jamal couldn't make the weight. So then Jamal said he can make the weight. He just wanted to do this fight here, get this little tune up and get rid of his brother and whatnot. It was interesting seeing the way Maul acted, because like you said, he was real reserved at first. And then he finally cleared. He's like, yes, y'all. He's like, you keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth. He's going to probably have to pay his brother for using that Mr. Run, keep running your mouth slogan. But he turned it up a little bit. And I appreciate that because I wasn't sure what to expect from Maul. I figured Jose Benavidez was going to do what he did because he's done it before, as you mentioned, against, Crawford and even against Danny. I think he did a little bit against Danny there, but it was an entertaining first press conference for the two. Definitely what we needed, wasn't all that kumbaya and stuff like that. So I was intrigued by this. I'm interested in this fight. I'm intrigued by this fight to see what Jamal's going to look like after being off for 2 years, 2.5 years off, basically almost. It is kind of interesting the fact that this fight's not for the belt, so he'll be going another year without fighting, but defending that title again. So it'll be probably close to 3 years before that title is actually defended. But he said he's gonna kick Jose Jr.'s butt, and he's gonna go for his brother too. And the more the interview kept going, the more animated it got. It got to a point where Brian Custer couldn't even get a word in. They were just going back and forth to that much. So it was heated. You know, I think it's what it needed for this card here. I think it's going to help sell this card for one. I myself are definitely more intrigued with this fight just for the banter to see what they're going to look like. He called Jamal out a little bit on about getting slapped, about his mental health issues and crying on camera. You know, that I don't deal with people with mental health issues too much like that, especially when it's actually been kind of proven with Jamal. You know, but I don't like when people also use it as a crutch when it's not true. But yeah, it was a good banter between the two. But I really don't think Maul. I think Maul was just clowning because he said, "Oh, I'm starting training tomorrow." He said, "No, I'm gonna start training. You know, the Thursday before the fight." So I think he was just saying that just to mess with people, see what kind of reaction he would get from people. You know, because he feels like that's all he needs to beat Jose Benavidez Jr. And he said he's not gonna be rusty. He said although he's been in a fight, he's been training, he's been working out and stuff like that. So I think he's gonna be rusty personally. I don't think you can just come back and just be, you know, hit the ground running like that after being out for 2.5, 3 years almost. So we'll see. But this was a good start to their press conference, I thought, between Benavidez Jr. and Jamal Charlo.
Yeah, I don't know if Jamal Charlo is actually messing around at all. He said that in the flow of the conversation. That was in the flow. It wasn't. It was just, you know, it was a natural part of his conversation. It was a natural transition for him. I do not feel like that was something that he was just sitting there kind of thinking of, and something that he could just put out there. Now the follow up was, okay, yeah, I might start, you know, the Thursday or the week before, whatever. The point remains is that the way that he said that initially, it did not feel like something that he was just saying in jest. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. I definitely think he's going to be rusty because you can't be away from the ring for 2 years and not be rusty. But exactly. As long as he came in like, you know, decent shape and had been working on his skills, I thought he had an excellent chance to be Jose Benavidez. But I don't like if he hasn't been training. Wow. He said that he took the advice of. He said he took the advice of the WBC and his handlers in terms of what weight he should come in at for this fight. I'm pretty sure those same handlers told him that he probably should have a 10-week camp.
At least 10 weeks.
So I don't know what's going on there, but go ahead.
I was going to go about that. Yeah, his handler saying, you know, what we should come in at. So, yeah, he should at least had 10 to 12 week camp. You know, he needed a long camp just to get in the swing of things. You know, it's like trimming off some of that excess weight, you know, to make it easier for him to really get down to a fighting weight, which is going to be 160. But he still has 18 days to the fight night, 17 days to weigh in. But it was, for me, what I noticed also in this fight here, I didn't realize how big Jose Benavidez Jr. really walks around. You know, he said he walks around like 180 to 190. So he is coming down to 147, 154. He feels better at 160, and maybe 3 extra pounds to help him out in this fight here. I don't know how much it'll help him out, but it'll be interesting because his last fight he came in at 158 and a half, and that was in August. So
what was interesting?
I don't know if he's going to be a bigger guy.
What was interesting about that is that he ridiculed and told Jamal Charlo not to have any excuses relative to his mental health, but then he goes right on and makes excuses about his weight and being drained. So that was actually interesting. You guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this particular presser. Definitely got Jason amped up a little bit more. I don't know if I'm any more amped, but we'll see. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast at M Sports Media, and we are